धृतराष्ट्रोवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुत्सवः मामका पाण्डवश्चैव किमकुर्वत Sanjay. Dhritarashtrovacha, King Dhritarashtra said, Dharmakshetre, in the place of pilgrimage, Kurukshetre, in the place named Kurukshetra, Samaveta assembled Yutsava, desiring to fight. Mamaka, my partisans, Pandava, the sons of Pandu, Cha and Eva, certainly, Kim, what, Akurvata, did they do, Sanjay, O Sanjay. Translation. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Bhagavad Gita is a widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatma, glorification of the Gita. There it says that one should read Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizingly with the help of a person who is a devotee of Shri Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. The example of clear understanding is there in the Bhagavad Gita itself, in the way the teaching is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from the Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand the Bhagavad Gita in the line of disciplic succession without motivated interpretation, then he surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all the scriptures of the world. One will find in the Bhagavad Gita all that is contained in the other scriptures, but the reader will also find things that are not to be found elsewhere. That is a specific standard of the Gita. It is a perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. The topics discussed by Dhritarashtra and Sanjay as described in the Mahabharata form the basic principle of this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is a sacred place of pilgrimage from the immemorial time of Vedic age. It was spoken by the Lord when he was present personally on this planet for the guidance of mankind. The word Dharmakshetra, a place where religious rituals are performed, is significant because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present on the side of Arjuna. Dhritarashtra, the father of Kurus, was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory. In his doubt, he inquired from his secretary Sanjay, what did they do? He was confident that both his sons and the sons of his younger brother Pandu were assembled in that field of Kurukshetra for a determined engagement of the war. Still, his inquiry is significant. He did not want a compromise between the cousins and brothers, and he wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battlefield. Because the battle was arranged to be fought at Kurukshetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in the Vedas as a place of worship, even for the denizens of heaven, Dhritarashtra became very fearful about the influence of the holy place on the outcome of the battle. He knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the sons of Pandu favorably, because by nature they were all virtuous. Sanjay was a student of Vyasa, and therefore by the mercy of Vyasa, Sanjay was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra even while he was in the room of Dhritarashtra. And so Dhritarashtra asked him about the situation on the battlefield. Both the Pandavas and the sons of Dhritarashtra belonged to the same family, but Dhritarashtra's mind is disclosed herein. He deliberately claimed only his sons as Kurus, and he separated the sons of Pandu from the family heritage. One can thus understand the specific position of Dhritarashtra in his relationship with his nephews, the sons of Pandu. As in the battlefield, the unnecessary plans were taken out, so it is expected from the very beginning of these topics that in the religious field of Kurukshetra, where the father of religion Shri Krishna was present, the unwanted plans like Dhritarashtra's son, Duryodhana and others would be wiped out, and thoroughly religious persons headed by Dhritarashtra would be established by the Lord. This is the significance of the words Dharmakshetra and Kurukshetra, apart from their historical Vedic importance. Chapter 1, Text 2. Sanjay Uvacha Ishtvato Pandavanekam Yudam Duryodhanastata Acharyopasamgamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. Sanjay Uvacha, Sanjay said, Drishtva, after seeing two, but Pandava Anekam, the soldiers of the Pandavas, Vyudam, arranged in a military phalanx, Duryodhana, King Duryodhana, Tada, at that time, Acharyam, the teacher, Upasangamya, approaching, Raja, the king, Vachanam, words, Abravit, spoke. Such translation. Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in the military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. Dhritarashtra was blind from birth. Unfortunately, he was also bereft of spiritual vision. He knew very well that his sons were equally blind in the matter of religion, and he was sure that they could never reach an understanding with the Pandavas, who were all pious since birth. Still, he was doubtful about the influence of the place of pilgrimage, and Sanjay could understand his motive in asking about the situation on the battlefield. Sanjay wanted therefore to encourage the despondent king and thus assured him that his sons were not going to make any sort of compromise under the influence of the holy place. Sanjay therefore informed the king that his son Duryodhana, after seeing the military force of the Pandavas, at once went to the commander-in-chief Dronacharya to inform him of the real position. Although Duryodhana is mentioned as the king, he still had to go to the commander on account of the seriousness of the situation. He was therefore quite fit to be a politician. But Duryodhana's diplomatic veneer could not disguise the fear he felt when he saw the military arrangement of the Pandavas. Text 3. Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Yudam Drupadaputrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. Pashya, behold, etam, this Panduputranam, of the sons of Pandu, Acharya or teacher, Mahatim, great, Chamum, military force, Vyudam, arranged, Drupadaputrena, by the son of Drupada, Tava, your Shishyena, disciple, Dhimata, very intelligent. Translation. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Purport. Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya, the great Brahmana commander-in-chief. Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet as a liberal Brahmana he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets when the son of Drupada, Drishtadumna, was entrusted to him for military education. Now on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Drishtadumna took the side of the Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for their military phalanx, after having learned the art from Dronacharya. Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By this he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's affectionate students. Arjuna especially was his most affectionate and brilliant student, and Duryodhana also warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat. Text 4. Atra Sura Maheshwasa Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Yudo Yudhano Viratasya Drupadasya Maharata. Atra, here, Shura, heroes, Mahaishu Asha, mighty bowmen, Bhima Arjuna, to Bhima and Arjuna, Sama, equal, Yudhi, in the fight, Yudhana, Virata, Cha, also, Drupada, Cha, also, Maharata, great fighter. Translation. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna, great fighters like Yudhana, Virata and Drupada. Purport. Even though Drishtadumna was not a very important obstacle in the face of Dronacharya's very great power in the military art, there were many others who were causes of fear. They are mentioned by Duryodhana as great stumbling blocks on the path of victory, because each and every one of them was as formidable as Bhima and Arjuna. He knew the strength of Bhima and Arjuna, and thus he compared the others with them. Text number 5. Drishtaketushya Ketana Kashirajasya Viryavan Purujit Kuntibojasya Shaivyasya Narapungava. Drishtaketu Cheketana Kashiraja Cha, also, Viryavan, very powerful, Purujit Kuntiboja, Cha and Shaibya, Cha and Narapungava, hero in the human society. Translation. There are also great heroic powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Kashiraja, Purujit, Kunti Bhoja and Shaibya. Text number 6. Yudhamanyusya Vikranta Uttamojasya Viryavan Saubhadro Dropadejasya Sarva Eva Maharata. Yudhamanyu and Vikranta, mighty, Uttamoja, Cha and Viryavan, very powerful, Saubhadra, the son of Subhadra, Draupadeya, the sons of Draupadi, Cha and Sarve, all, Eva, certainly, Maharata, great chariot fighters. Translation. There are mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful, Uttamoja, the sons of Subhadra and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. Text number 7. अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तान्ये बोधा द्विजोत्तमा नायका मम सैन्यस्य संज्ञातां तान् ब्रवीमि. Asmakam, our two, but Vishishta, especially powerful, ye, who, tan, them. Nibodha, just take note of, be informed. Vija Uttama, O best of the Brahmanas, Nayaka, captains. Mama, my, Sainyasya, of the soldiers, Samnyartam, for information, tan, them, Bravimi, I am speaking, te, to you. Translation. But for information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. Text number 8. Bhavan Bhishmasya Karnasya Kripasya Samitim Jaya Ashwathama Vikarnasya Saumadattis Tataivacha. Bhavan, your good self, Bhishma, grandfather, Bhishma, Cha, also, Karna, Cha, and Kripa, Cha, and Samitim Jaya, always victorious in battle, Ashwathama, Vikarna, Cha, as well as Saumadatti, the son of Somadatta, Tata, as well as Eva, certainly, Cha, also. Translation. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, the son of Somadatta, called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in battle. Purport. Duryodhana mentions the exceptional heroes in the battle, all of whom are ever victorious. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhana, Ashwadhama is the son of Dronacharya, and Saumadatti or Bhurishrava is the son of the king of Bhalikas. Karna is the half-brother of Arjuna, as he was born of Kunti before her marriage with the king Pandu. Kripacharya's twin sister married Dronacharya.